Sweetums is the 15th episode of the second season of Parks and Rec. This is directed by Dean Holland, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. And to be honest, I didn't mind it. I wouldn't say I loved it, but there were some okay moments. There are two parts to the narrative, one involving Sweetums, which I'll talk about in a moment, and one involving Tom because his divorce is going through, he's moving out, he manages to rope various people in to help him move, and he was going to ask Andy to help, and Andy immediately asked if he could help. And honestly, I'm really starting to like Andy as a character for a very long time, basically up until now. I've really not liked him. I hated him in the first season. I don't think he was very likeable. I don't think he was meant to be likeable in the first season. But over time, gradually I've started to soften to him, and I would now say that I like the character, which is not what I was expecting, so that was quite nice. And everybody's helping him out, helping Tom move, and we get to see a bit of his house, and it was fine. It's okay. The bit that I enjoyed the most, though, from this part is DJ Roomba, which I thought was actually a pretty cool idea. He's mounted an MP3 onto a Roomba, and it goes around the house playing music, and I thought it was a fun idea. Not too bad. I used to have a Roomba. I had an off-brand robotic vacuum cleaner. Partly ironically, I called it Liz, after Liz Lemon. I realised this is the wrong Tina Fey and Amy Poehler show, but either way, I called it Liz Lemon. And it was terrible. I'm sure on-brand Roombas are much better, but if I still had one, I would be tempted to do that. So I thought that was pretty good fun. The rest of that part of the episode, it was fine. I didn't love it, but I certainly didn't hate it. Sweetums is quite interesting. Sweetums is going to have a concession stand, but initially everybody's really excited about these Nutri-Yum bars, which are meant to be quite healthy snacks that taste like candy. I'm sure we're all aware of the kind of health foods out there that taste like candy, and then you look at the ingredients and actually they're not healthy. And everybody in the office they're on a sugar high. And it's tremendous, tremendous fun. And then Anne comes in and looks at the ingredients and realises that these are not healthy. And she points them out, the ingredients out to Leslie. And Leslie now doesn't want to have this concession stand. But not everybody's in agreement with her. Will they get the stand? Well, I'm not going to say. I know I said spoilers, but I won't go into too much detail. Basically, I liked the way it played out. It wasn't the most interesting in terms of the specifics of what happened with that part of the narrative, at least after around the halfway mark. But at the same time, I really like the concept. I like the fact that it's raising awareness for the fact that so-called healthy snack bars are actually loaded with garbage. Not all of them, of course, but a lot of them are. And I think if it encourages anybody to at least look at the ingredients, I'm not saying I wouldn't eat them. I probably would, but at the same time, if my choice is one of these or an actual chocolate bar, probably going to go with the latter, to be honest. I just like the fact that it's raising awareness of this and helping make people aware that not everything that claims to be good for you is actually good for you. And the bit that I did love with this part of the narrative, Leslie's not happy with the way Ron's behaving and not looking after himself, and she tells him that she doesn't want him to die, understandably, even though she's already written part of his eulogy, and the eulogy begins, "Oh Captain, my Captain, Ron Swanson a swan song." I have to say that that's really beautiful. That is a gorgeous way to start a eulogy. If I was called Ron Swanson and I died, I'd be quite happy to have that as the opening to my eulogy. So there were some okay bits in this episode, absolutely. I didn't dislike it, but at the same time, I didn't necessarily love it. I guess I can say it's not a favourite, but that being said, Sweetums is not a bad episode of Parks and Rec. If I were binge watching season 2, I don't think I'd skip it. It's definitely not too bad.